If you're wondering what your hard-working taxpayer dollars are going to, well, guess what? Senator Rand Paul wants to give you some answers. In his latest edition of the Waste Report, here are a few examples. They include $466,000 to study frog mating calls in Panama, $2 billion to turn an abandoned mental hospital into the Department of Homeland Security headquarters, and $51 million for Google Scholar searches in Hawaii. Okay, that's just a few of those issues, because for those of you counting on the U.S. government to track and spend about $1 trillion of deficit this year, we got to figure out where that money's going to and if it's all in good use. So we bring in our 360 view. We turned to our political panel, attorney and former Georgia state lawmaker LaDawn Jones and Jessica McClain, GOP strategist. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies.
Absolutely.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Okay, this is a panel that actually there's not going to be much debate on, because I think we can all agree we are wasting a lot of money into this country. Republicans, Democrats, they're all doing it. So, LaDawn, I got to start with you. Every year, regardless of who's in power, there are long lists of wastes that are happening, and it keeps on happening. Why won't Congress, either party, do anything about it?
You know, Congress answers to the people, and if the people don't do anything about it, Congress won't. But what makes us so angry is that they argue over money spent on things that are far less important, yet we're spending money on these useless things. I think the people have to speak up and vote out folks and put the pressure on them who are not voting in the right way for these issues.
But that's the thing, LaDawn. We have these career politicians. We keep electing them, allowing them to get in. So it's not like we're basically rewarding bad behavior. So, Jessica, this type of waste is what President Trump, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you were hoping he would get rid of, because that's what he said he was going to do. And yet we're seeing our budgets continuing to expand. We're still raising debt ceiling limits. I don't see this list getting any shorter. Why isn't the White House being more aggressive on this? It wouldn't be hard.
Right. No, thank you, Scotty. And exactly. First of all, this isn't a bipartisan issue. This is an issue for the American people. The U.S. has no business giving and donating federal finance aid to other countries when we have millions of Americans that are on poverty level. Our tax dollars go to the working American people, and they're paying in, contributing millions of dollars over, 30, 40, 50 years until they retire. Where are all these funds being held if we still have such a high, low-income welfare poverty rate?
And that's the thing. We have homeless people that are on our streets. We have a huge epidemic of homelessness in this country. And I understand we have bleeding hearts. We want to take care of the world, but we also have to take care of our citizens. That being said, LaDawn, the line item veto was created to correct this, but presidents, none of them really seem to use this. Why don't they?
You know, I think that, one, it takes work to figure out who you will support and who you won't. Someone is putting this in for their constituency, for their donors, and to have to battle with other Republicans to take those things out, I think no one wants to actually address it, and it's making this continue again and again.
And I think you're right. It's also on the Democrats.
Stop you right there.
Yeah, go for it, Jessica.
This is the Democrats and Republicans need to come together. We need to stop making this about what the Democrats are doing and what the Republicans are doing. The fact of the matter is there's 26% of federal funds each year that go into Medicaid, Medicare, and welfare. Why do we have such a high number of poverty and low-income people in this country, but yet we're giving millions of dollars every year to finance foreign aid in other countries? America first. The Constitution is put in place to take care of the American people. The government is not the ones that are responsible for taking care of the people, yet we're contributing hundreds of millions of dollars. Every American would agree with that.
Well, that's the thing, Jessica, but we're also talking here at home, though. We're also bankrupting. When we're hearing rumors of the Social Security system being bankrupt within the next 20 years, 30 years, we won't be able to claim it possibly. We're not even taking care of those who need it here at home. That being said, it was announced.
But Social Security doesn't even give you enough money to live off of. When someone retires at the age 65, they've paid in hundreds of thousands of dollars over 30, 40, 50 years. And now the government slaps them with, a $1,500, $1,700 a month Social Security check? You can't live off that. Where's all this money being spent if we're such a thriving, flourishing, wealthy country?
Well, and that's the thing, LaDawn.
Scotty?
Yes. Go.
I hate when I have to agree with President Trump. And so when we say America first, though, if he would spend all of the rest of his energy for the rest of his term on really making America first in the budget, It's something that I can get behind. I wouldn't vote for him, but I could definitely get behind whatever he does to put America first in the budget.
Well, then real quick, Jessica, on this point, today or this week it's been announced that President Trump is allocating money from the military to build this wall at the southern border. This is actual military spending. Building an elementary school at Fort Campbell has now been put on hold. Improvements at West Point, military housing, specific needs that are real. Why are we not using money, subsidies that we're using to spend on the Philippines and filming it in the Philippines? Or I think they did a study on crickets in their mating season. Why aren't we using the money that Rand Paul points out to build the wall? At least that would make a little bit more sense.
Because the government needs to be honest with the American people. I mean, when you get your paycheck, it's itemized list by list. How much goes to Social Security? How much goes to Medicaid? How much goes to Medicare? We need to be more specific and thorough when we list what's going, where taxes are going and how much is going to which category, et cetera, rather than just putting it into a large pool. If the American people really, truly knew about how much money is spent into various aids and various subsidized government programs, they'd be shocked.
Well, and I think that's a good reason why we have you guys on. Jessica, LaDawn, thank you so much for joining us. Have a lovely weekend.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.